the world. 7,000 tons of native plants effectively insulate the building and reduce factory noise. With an added benefit, just like on a dune, the vegetation prevents the decay of the building underneath by keeping out corrosive salt air.
So as I look at the building, instead of seeing kind of a big metal building with a flat tin roof, instead I'm actually going to see kind of a green landscape that rises up, frames the building, and then creates actually a living vegetative surface on the top of it.
Exactly right. And not only that, the angles on the roof actually mimic the dunes around, as well as the vegetation on the roof is the same vegetation that you're finding in the area. So we're keeping it all within the same context of the environment.
Workers first erect an 85-foot-high structural frame made of galvanized steel, then cover it with 438 roof panels, each weighing 8 tons. Right now, they're building and installing the highest panel on the entire project.
Anthony, tell me about the team here. What's going on here? What are we doing?
Well, basically, the boys are about to make a typical panel. There's 438 of these to go up on this building alone.
Covering 2,700 square feet of roof each day, the crew has earned a special nickname.
We're called the shadow casters because every time we put a panel up, a bit more shadow gets cast over and have a bit of shade to work under.
Without any further ado, let's cast some shadows.
Righto. Let's go.
Right out.
Let's go, boys.
Bolts on this side? I'm not really doing the shadow casters any favors right now, am I? Are these Australian bolts? You got like specific ways to do this here?
Now split it up, Danny.
I know, I'm on it, Anthony, I'm on it. You know how there's a saying that like down in Australia when you flush the toilet, the water goes the other way because of the hemisphere? I think there's the same thing with the bolts. They twist differently here. T-bar's going in. T-bar.
T-bars?
T-bars.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm on it. No problem.
I'll get a full-time job here, I think.
Yeah, I didn't understand a word you said, but I'm on it. What did he say? We ready for the acoustical stuff?
Each panel is made of 3 layers. The upper layer, 450 square feet of waterproof plywood, keeps out the moist salt air. Under it is a 3-inch layer of fiberglass thermal insulation to protect against summer temperatures as hot as 110 degrees. And the bottom layer, almost 3,000 pounds of organic soundproofing. Made from locally grown compressed straw, it absorbs sound waves, cutting noise from 90 decibels down to 40, as quiet as a library.
And if you look out here, you can actually see what exactly it is that makes this plant so silent. It's hay, compressed straw bale squeezed together to create this about 2-inch thick layer of sonic insulation. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So first we dealt with sonic insulation. Now we're going with thermal insulation.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold this in and push. It's like insulation bowling. And done. So the panel that we built has now been moved into position under the crane and ready for the lift. Come on.
Crews now lift the panel up 85 feet to the highest point on the building.
All right, the piece is heading up. We're now going to run to the top of the roof and meet it for installation. And we're off. Okay.
They pitch each panel at angles up to 15 degrees to mimic the slopes of the surrounding dunes.
Every single inch of this entire surface is going to be a wild, vegetative plain. Look at that thing coming in. My apartment in New York City could fit under that thing without a problem. All right, so what you're going to see right now is as I'm holding this tagline, I'm holding the corner that corresponds to that corner. So by holding this line, we're actually going to rotate the piece like a very large kite. God, look at this thing. It really is like landing a spaceship.
Beautiful, mate. Catch that little one to the right and trolley out. And round now, mate. Go and sweep.
Yeah, right here. It's coming down. Check this out. It's coming down. Right there.
We might need to come up a little bit more, Paul.
All right, I'm podgy.
Stop.
Podgy. We got one corner pinned up real tight, which means we can use it like a hinge and then bend the panel down, get into shape, and then bolt all 4 corners up.
With the new panel installed, the crane removes the 1.5-ton lifting frame.
The enormous lifting frame is now separated from the roof and beginning its ride home, leaving in its wake a massive piece of roof panel, which we took from scratch, put it into place at an angle no less, and casted an enormous shadow over this amazing building. Ron, did you cast a shadow?
Yeah, I always cast a shadow, Danny.
Up next, lifting the most delicate piece of equipment on the entire project.
Not a good thing.
But first, your trivia question.